sleeping just fine without you.
What my sound preferences are. I like bass. And if it can have quantity and quality, yeah, I'm rocking it. Especially mid bass. I like the slam over the sub bass rumble. I like my mids super clean. Not a big fan of overly colored, overly thick, overly warm mids. Not a big fan of that. And highs that are very sweet and seem to be able to keep up without ever being overbearing or in your face. So
I'm getting good at letting go. I'm not there yet, but I know. Ain't no hope in holding on when I'm happier alone. I'm getting good at letting go. Ooh, 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 ooh. Something about you was off. Something about you was off, but I was too blind to see it. Too in love to know. Oh, somebody told me get lost. Somebody gave a heads up, but I just couldn't believe it. Little did I know. All the lies they told, I've forgiven. All the fights and whose fault I forgot. I've done all in my power to heal them, all of my scars. I'm getting good at letting go. I'm not there yet, but I know. Ain't no hope in holding on when I'm happier alone. I'm getting good at letting go. Ooh, 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 ooh. All the lies they told, I've forgiven. All the fights and whose fault I forgot. I've done all in my power to heal them, all of my scars. I'm getting good at letting go. I'm not there yet, but I know. Ain't no hope in holding on when I'm happier alone. I'm getting good at letting go.
okay, today's vid is on the Kefine Delci. I originally wasn't going to get this one, but when the opportunity to come out, when Kefine reached out to me and said, would you like to try it? I went, well, let's just see what all the talk is about. I'm pretty happy I did. $75 regular. The reason I'm putting this video out today, because it is on sale for $59 at HIFIGO. I teased already. I think you should go out and buy this IM if you got the 59 bucks. I used to think buying another cheap IM when I already had awesome IMs weird. And I changed my mind because there's some bangers regardless of price. This is one of them. The EA 500 SimGod was one of them. 10mm DLC dynamic driver, diamond-like carbon, with a rubber surround on this guy, 108 decibels, 108 decibels, 28 ohm impedance, super easy to drive. They're light, only 5.3 grams per side. Very unflashy, unassuming. I mean, it's got that gunmetal anodized aluminum shell with a right-left on it. Thank you. Longer nozzles, nicely shaped as well. And I talk about that a lot, and it just happens to be one that is a great nozzle length and shell shape. They're super comfortable. That CNC machined aluminum shell, first it's polished, then it's anodized to that gunmetal finish. I find those are quite durable. It keeps the classy look longer. Yeah. This cable that comes with it is just a two-tone copper cable. I gotta tell you that I think it's perfectly matched. I have the 4.4 alternate cable that you can buy because I wanted the 4.4, but I wanted the same cable for ear impressions. So I think these are $20 extra for the 4.4 cable. It's excellent. So they call this cable the balanced cable with warm, rich tones and exceptional clarity and resolution. Well, I don't know if they're talking about the cable, but the IM sounds that way. So I thought the cables were really nice, tangle-free, no complaints. Love the carrying case. I am weird about these little things. Pocketable, has this little mesh up top so you can hold your dongle and extra tips, and the IM and the cable fit nicely in this case. Bravo. Some track impressions. I think these are a good way for me to convey the emotion that these put into my body. And I also really like that I can tell you a bit more about the character of the IM when I am describing how it sounds in a song. I think that's a really good way of doing this. So when I was listening, and my in-ear impressions, they're done with an Osla crystal tip, and I used a few of my DAPs, the Astral and Kern Con Max, the Shanling, the Canon N3 Ultra, and the Shanling M5 Ultra, which turned out to be the winner for me because it added a slight bit of warmth and into the mids, which I really found quite complimentary to the Delci. There you go. So Cold by Holly McNarland. I listened for correct tonality of her voice in this track, and if the IM could accurately produce Holly's edgy vocals. And the Delci receives top marks in this category for not only that, but also the instrumental was standout, and all done with a beautiful balance across all of the frequencies. Take Me to Church, Hoser. Male vocals are just as organic and wonderful realism in the replay. Great weight and pitch to the vocals. Great micro details on this track as well. The Circle of Life by Tina Gao. Now she is the electric violinist. She's amazing. check her stuff out. A most excellent dynamic replay. Tons of strings in this one, of course. The Delci smashed this track. Absolutely smashed it. Excellent timbre. It was a real treat. Deed I Do by Ella Fitzgerald, taking a step back into some old school. Wonderful vocals and fun. I think that's what I got most out of this replay from the Delci. It had a big band stage funness that was conveyed through the music. It was an easy song to get lost into. So, Lunatic Fringe by Tom Cochrane. Oh my God. Vocals, perfectly edgy, and the guitar was exceptional. It was goosebump material. I'm talking about a under $75 IM, and I'm getting this kind of emotion from it. I'm gushing because it deserves to be gushed. I had a dirty thought there. Poem of Chinese Drum. I just before this one did the I was listening to the TRN Medusa. And when I was listening to that bass and this song by Hawkman Yim, all 10 minutes, that other IM really sounded not great in the bass department. For when you were listening to it, when you were critically listening to it, the drum skin, the resonances, the attack, the decay, how it let that note play out to hit the next note, and how they blended in together, and all of that, and the texture between. Could you hear a big drum, a little drum? How were the sticks when he hit them together, and how did it all come across? And that's where the TRN Medusa. And that's the one where it absolutely shit the bed in the bass department for quality. It has quantity, but it didn't do what I just described. It was like listening to a big drum with a loose skin on it, and every drum hit would be monotone. Great if you're listening to rap, but certainly not for critical listening. How did the Delci do? Well, the replay was excellent, great tonality, and excellent speed and decay. Lets each note finish and have its own space. This is excellent bass. This song very much reveals, I think, the ability and the quality of the dynamic driver that's used. I think the Delci has an excellent driver capable of reproducing naturally the complex note passages with a high level of competence. Not equal to the asking price of this IM, that is for sure. So, next one, Running Up That Hill, A Deal with God by Kate Bush. What a great replay this was too. Very balanced. The bass, the vocals, and the highs were all super clean and showed excellent micro and macro details. Now, if you're not sure what that means, I'll explain a little bit of that too. The macro details are the overall dynamics of a song from the whole entire replay. Could it express emotion with different levels of volume? Could you hear the quiet passages and the high passages? And was there enough of a difference to add excitement and emotion to the music? Yes, that's what macro dynamics do. Micro dynamics are, again, the nuances that you can pick up. Somebody breathing into the mic, and then all of a sudden the gain picks up, and it's adding that a little bit of energy, an up and a down into the level to bring out the finer details. Now, I'm not talking about, in this case, about the resolution of how could you pick things out. I'm talking about how much can this IM convey emotion with different levels of volume, and use that, the artist or the engineer who recorded this, to convey what they wanted to convey in the song. So that's what micro and macro dynamics are to me. And I think the Delci did a wonderful job with that. Saguna, the Nels Klein Singers. A wonderful demonstration. Again, you guys notice that I'm all over the board. And I'll say this again, and I haven't said it in a while, that I think a good IM, a great IM, should be able to play all genres of music well. You should play music well. It shouldn't have to be limited to, oh, this plays my genre, this plays rap, this plays... Sure, there's some that do that better than others, but I think a quality IM should play everything well. Back on track here. A wonderful demonstration again of how capable this driver is to be able to layer the instruments in the 3D space. Fantastic staging, great depth, width, and height, all above average. Now, those were some tracks and giving you a sense of how the Delci sounds. What about if I compare this now with some other IMs? So let's start off with the RT R1. Okay, I think this is a good comparison because they're both on sale for $59. The Delci, in comparison, AB in out, slightly better resolution and details. Vocals sound better from the Kefine than they did with the RT. The Delci is clearly superior. Technical details, stage resolution, timbre, bass. It makes the Delci a clear upgrade over the fabulous R1. The next one up on the list, let's throw some punches in there with the BQEYZ Wind. And I also, another one that I thought highly of. The Delci stages more 3D, but man, do they sound close in overall tonality wise in the mids. So in the BQEYZ though, the definition and the slam of the bass go to the Delci. Easy win there. And it also wins out with a nicer top end with more resolution and details. So I wrote RIP Wind. 200 and... Well, wait a second. Yeah, let's do that. $219 Dunu Falcon Ultra. Here, I like the slam of the FU. The dynamic driver quality is evidently better. It plays slightly warmer, which is kind of more towards my preferences on the Dunu. The Delci sounds, in comparison, slightly thinner, more airy, and the stage can't quite keep up with the Falcon Ultra. The Falcon Ultra is standout, I thought, for that. For my music and for my taste, the Falcon Ultra is only bested by the nice HCK Himalaya. But the Delci is certainly trying to play up with the big boys, and some might actually prefer the Delci's tuning over the warmer Dunu Ultra. And especially if you're a female vocal lover. At $220, there is also a pretty giant step up into pricing as well. But what if we took a step back into pricing? Okay, Simgot EA 500LM. No proper single DD review should be not compared against this fabulous little IM. At $89, it is a pretty incredible piece of work, piece of art. Mine, in comparison, my configuration is using that silver nozzle, the red ring, and an additional 500 mesh on the nozzle itself to knock down some of those upper mids. That being said, in comparison, strings and overall top end certainly still has a lot more energy up there. Even with my mods, it still makes them a little too intense for me and many others. The Delci are smoother, less raw, maybe not as correct, but for my taste, I would pick up the Delci, no mods, over the 500 LM with even the filter mods. I also liked the added bass that Delci belted out over the LM. That was a win in my books as well. The 500 LM is the better of the two IMs in terms of resolution, details, but the Delci is actually quite close behind. For my taste, the Delci over 500 LM, but there is no doubt the SimGot has the better of the two drivers in it. But the Delci is tuned towards more of my preferences than the 500 LM. So for me, that's the one I would pick. Now, some overall thoughts. The Kefine Delphi deserves huge praise and recognition really for a very well-tuned IEM. Its lightweight shells with great nozzle length and geometry makes it a big win for me to be able to get the proper angle, and that's probably why it sounds so good to most people. They're comfortable to wear, they're super light. The non-fatiguing signature puts these IMs at the top of my kind of daily carry list and for longer listening sessions. The Delci can be described as a engaging, fun listen that doesn't sacrifice on bass, quality or quantity. An IM that comes through with having clean sounding mids and a well executed top end with lots of sparkles and details, just the right amount of balance and zip to the overall full frequency spectrum. It's not as warm as my beloved Dunu Falcon Ultra, nor as in your face as the SimGot's EA 500 LM. It's just the right temperature. It's the more neutral, balanced one without too many compromises. And the value equation, this is the thing. It's off the hook. Really, $59. End of review. And my unbashful shilling of this IM. I like it a lot. For now, I'm out. Go buy the shit.